you like to move forward so we don't leave the front seats empty? Thank you. Fellow shareholders, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to the 59th Annual General Meeting of our company, Milk Plc, which has been duly convened and properly constituted. I sincerely hope that you all and your respective families are coping well in these very challenging times. May I call on our registrar, Greenwich Registrars and Data Solutions, represented today by Miss Motorayo Ajijola, to give us a proxy report for this AGM. List of directors' shareholdings available for inspection during the meeting in accordance with Section 301, subsection 8 of the Company and Allied Matters Act 20, herein referred to as CAMA. Information in that regard is further contained on page 20 of the annual report and accounts. Also, in accordance with Section 318, subsection 5 of CAMA, the record of directors' attendance at board meetings is available for inspection at this meeting. I will now introduce the directors present at this meeting. On my immediate left is Mr. Eleyele Ibadan, our Managing Director. On his left, my far left, Mr. Olamide Amao, our Company Secretary, and is to his right, representing Danone at this meeting with their proxy, is the Director of Finance for Sub-Saharan Africa, Mrs. Falake Faroube. The other directors who are joining us virtually are Mr. Hervé Barra, Non-Executive Director, and Ms. Dr. Babatunde Ajibade, SAN, who is an independent non-executive director and unfortunately can't be physically present as he has other commitments in Abuja, so he's joining us virtually today. The chairman of the audit committee and shareholder representative on the audit committee, Chief Adekunle Odesanya, is here. As are other members of the audit committee, Alhaji Mustafa Hajinabu, and Mr. Peter Ianapo. The firm of Massars acted as our independent auditor The firm is represented here by Miss Elizabeth Oluike, a partner in the firm. Thank you. Of course, we have already seen Ms. Motoraro Ajola of Greenwich Registrars and Data Solutions. We also have in our midst representatives of the NASD,
Statutory Audit Committee should reach the Company Secretary at least 21 days before the date of the annual general meeting. The Securities and Exchange Commission Code of Corporate Governance for Public Companies and Other Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 stipulates that members of the audit committee should have basic financial literacy and should be able to read financial statements, and at least one member shall be a member of operational accounting body in Nigeria established by an act of the National Assembly. We therefore request that nominations be accompanied by a copy of the nominees' curriculum vitae. Electronic version of the annual reports. The electronic version of 2021 reports and accounts is accessible on the company website www.danone.com and also circulated by email to all shareholders who have provided their email addresses in the statutory register. Shareholder register. Shareholders who are interested in receiving an electronic copy of 2021 by mail should send a request to info@gtrestaurant.com. Live stream of the annual general meeting. The annual general meeting will be streamed live and the link will be provided by the company website www.family.danone.com. Subsequently, for this purpose, this will enable relevant authorities, stakeholders who will not physically attend the meeting to also be part of the proceedings. Right of securities holders. Shareholders shall have the right to ask questions not only at the meeting but also prior to the meeting. And such written questions should be submitted to the Company Secretary and Legal Advisor on or before the 21st of July 2024. Re-election of directors. Mr. Mike Akukubu and Dr. Babatunde Badi SAN are retired by rotation at this meeting in line with Section 285 of CAMA. The retired directors being eligible are offering themselves for election as directors of the GM. Proposals are contained in our report, which will be electronically downloaded at the company's website. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olusanya. Of course, the notice convening the meetings will be found on pages 11 and 12 of the annual report that you have in your hands. Item 1 on the agenda is to lay before the members the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st of December 2023, together with the reports of the independent auditor and the audit committee thereon. I hereby lay before you the Director's report and statement of financial position as at 31st of December 2023, together with the income statement for the year ended on that date and reports of the independent auditor and the audit committee thereon. Before we take questions or comments on the report and accounts, I will call on the independent auditor and the audit committee to present their respective reports, starting, of course, with Ms. Elizabeth Orike, a partner in the firm of Mazars, to present the independent auditor's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon again, everyone. The independent auditor's reports can be found on pages 25 to 27 of the annual reports laid in front of you. With the permission, sir, I would like to read out the opinion and the basis for our opinion and the reporting on the legal and regulatory requirements. Thank you. Our opinion, this is to the members. Our opinion. In our opinion, from Milk Plc, the company's financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of the company as at 31st December 2023 and of its financial performance and its cash flows for the year ended in accordance with international financial reporting standards and in the manner required by the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria's Act No. 42, 2023. What we have audited. The Fund Milk Plc's financial statement comprises a statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income for the year ended 31st December 2023, the statement of financial position as at 31st December 2023, the statement of changes in equity for the year then ended, the statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and the notes to the financial statements, which includes a summary of significant accounting policies and other explanatory information. Basis for opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with International Standards in Auditing, the ISAs. Our responsibility under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the financial statement section of our reports. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. We are independent of the company in accordance with the IESBA code, and we have fulfilled our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with the IESBA code. Moving on to the report on other legal and regulatory requirements on page 27. The Company and Allied Matters Act, 2020 requires that in carrying out our audit, we consider and report to you on the following matters. We confirm that we have obtained all the information and explanation which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audits. We also confirm that the company has kept proper books of accounts so far as appears from examination of those books, and returns adequate for our audits have been received from branches not visited by us. And we also confirm that the company's statement of financial position and the statements of profit and loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of accounts and return. This was signed by myself on behalf of Matters Professional Services, 25th July 2024. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Elizabeth Olike. I appreciate it. In accordance with the provisions of CAMA, members of the Audit Committee met in the course of the year to, amongst other things, examine the report of the independent auditor, and the chairman of the committee is here today to present the report. I now call on Chief Eleyele Ibadan to present the committee's report. Thank you.
Let's refer to page 22 of the financial statement before us. Good afternoon, the board of directors and the shareholders. I'm reading the audit committee report from Milk Plc annual report and the financial statement for the year ended 31st December 2023 on the report of the audit committee. To the shareholders of the Milk Plc, in accordance with the provisions of section 404 cap 7 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, we have reviewed the audited financial statements of the company for the year ended 31st December 2023 and report as follows. A. The accounting and report policies of the company are consistent with legal requirements and agreed ethical practices. B. The scope and planning of the external audit was adequate. C. The company maintained effective systems of accounting and internal controls during the year. D. Having reviewed the external auditor's findings and recommendations on the management matters, we are satisfied with the management responses thereon. Dated this 30th June 2024, by my able self, Chief Eleyele Ibadan, Chairman Audit Committee. I hereby read the list of the members of the Audit Committee, and with due respect, I will all the members of the Audit Committee please take a bow as the names are mentioned. My able self, Odesoya, thank you. Followed by Mr. Peter Eyalako, a member. Followed by Dr. Babatunde A.M. Ajibade San. Okay, thank you. And then Alhaji Jinado Mustafa I. Flood. Thank you, God bless you.
Thank you very much, Chief Eleyele Ibadan, for that report. My colleagues and I will be pleased to answer any questions which you may have on the report and accounts before we proceed to the next item on the agenda, and follow-up questions and comments could also be sent to the email address info@gtlregistrars.com, and I think we are monitoring those in virtual attendance should they have any questions as well. I welcome Mazi Sampanugo. I see you in the front row scrutinizing the accounts, so I'm sure you will have a question or two. Any questions?
The erudite board of directors, led by able chairman, other members, as well as the audit committee members, my fellow shareholders. My name, Mazi Sam Mpamugo, one of the bona fide shareholders of this company. Mr. Chairman, it is always my delight to attend the AGM of Milk Plc. And going through our accounts, of course, one can see that we are still in the same problem which I've been emphasizing on. Because if you look at the item in the notice of the account, something is really missing, and it has been consistently being missing. Before I say, you know where I'm going to. And that has to do with dividend declaration. Please, my question is, when are we likely to add it in this notice of meeting? I can't remember when last you declare dividends. And that is what every shareholder look forward to invest. And you too, as a matter of fact, I know you will not be happy coming here to be telling stories to me every year. We know that especially the manufacturing companies are facing a lot of challenge, no doubt about it. I am a member of the audit committee of some major manufacturing companies. Even the Nestle, they declare losses this year. And we know that the economic environment has become very harsh. But then it is said that when the going becomes tough, the tough will continue doing what? Going. And that is what I'm expecting with you. Remember when I started, I used the word erudite board of directors. Now, we have made some improvements, though the turnover declined from what it was last year, showing actually that we are really not measuring up. Perhaps it may be because of the cost of raw material, which have gone higher. Now, let me look at your chairman's address. You said in page 15, 2023 Global Outlook. In 2023, the global economy experienced a slowdown. We know. As a result, our company could not meet up with these challenges of the House declaring dividends. And then you say, in page 15, under the subheading, Backward Integration Projects. The modern dairy farm in Odida has continued to thrive with an increasing number of livestock. That, I believe, would add value to our needs when it comes to enhancing the performance of this company. Now, the foreign exchange, which you did mention in page 18, has become a challenge, like I say, even the major manufacturing company. But the thing remains is that page 19, you say 2024 outlook. The macroeconomic and of the country remain challenging, yes. Inflation is biting hard. But people are still buying our products. Perhaps it may not be as they used to before, but don't forget one thing, that we are the major player in this business. And as a result, we are the one dictating the tone in the market. And so, we have no good reason to be giving excuses always. Let me take us to some of the points I did mention. Page 36. We talk of repayment, that is a cash flow and a financing activity. We talk of repayment of borrowing of overdraft, showing that we don't have enough capital. But is it not possible for us to raise our capital and go to the market to search for more funds instead of such huge of money going to the banks as a bank draft? Look at 1.3753,400. That is the proceed from repayment on our borrowing. See, these are some of the things that always drag us backwards. So we should make efforts to find a way, even our parent company, let them come to our aid. By the time, Nigeria is a big market, not only in Africa, but also in the whole globe, which of course, if we put in proper resources, money, into this business, in fact, we can go a long way into exporting to, the neighboring countries. And we don't have reason in any way to be telling story that we cannot pay the shareholders dividends. Now, we talk of page 56. Then we talk of rights of return. Then you notice there that it is the company's policy to allow customers to return products after delivering. Now, this I cannot understand. You did mention, like, if those products have some issues. But then, do you know that some clever customers can take it as an advantage to even cheat our company. By the time they use, so you never can know what has gone under the water, under the bridge. So we have to take critical look into this kind of arrangement or returning of products after delivering. You see, so let us look into it with an eye rather. Now, on 60, staff loan. Yes, it's good to give the staff loan, but we will have to watch those who will not, at the end of the day, the Japa syndrome. Then we have to be very careful, because even 1 kobo removed from 1,000 naira, it's not going to be 1,000 naira any longer. So we have to be prudent in managing the company. At the end of the day, we come back to be smiling in a better way, you see. So there is just a few things I want to mention to you, Mr. Chairman, and my fellow shareholders. Please let us continue to have faith in this company. If advice is taken seriously, we are going to smile in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mazi, and thank you, as always, for being so very attentive to the accounts. And I'm sure even in a very short period, you've been able to analyze quite accurately some of the issues. Let me address, I think I can probably address most of them, and if I need some help with accurate figures, I'll turn to the MD. First of all, the issue of dividends. As you rightly pointed out, there's no one that runs a company that doesn't want to be able to reward the shareholders for their investments. And as you know, we've been at this for quite some time and looking forward to the day where we'll be able to declare dividends. It's not just dividends that a company, that the shareholders should look forward to, because you also want the growth of the company and the capital invested in the company. It is true that we have not been able to pay dividends, but on the plus side, our foreign partners have continued to show the confidence in the market that you alluded to when you were referring to the population of the country and the size of the market. They continue to show confidence in developing the company, investing, in improving the facilities, and the evidence is there, because otherwise the situation would be far more dire than it is. Because I haven't even talked, as we all know, about the circumstances within the country. Unfortunately, year after year, we encounter one difficulty or the other. The backward integration plan, which is, of course, a good thing if we can improve on developing things locally for use, but it costs money to do that, and it was not something we were prepared for. It was something that we were forced to do quite suddenly, and we've been trying to gradually build that up. So those challenges continued throughout that year, and well, first of all there's COVID, then the backward integration plan, and now of course we're dealing with the increased expenses due to fuel, the increase in price of fuel, of power, and the difficulties that creates for our logistics and the cold chain, as well as the inflation that our customers are experiencing. Now, it's very difficult, if not sometimes impossible, when you're dealing with products that go to ordinary people in the society, to increase your prices to match inflation. Sometimes if you attempt to increase your prices to recover more, the chances are that your turnover in those products drops significantly and begins to be a problem for the company. Despite those headwinds, even though other companies have left the country, Danone is still very much with us and still very much interested in continuing to grow fan milk. So we are all hoping that in addition to growing the company, that the opportunity to pay dividends out of profits will come soon. I can't predict a day when that will happen. I'm not even sure the MD would dare to do so, but I'll give him a chance to try. I look in his crystal ball. Odeda is the Farm Institute where we've been very lucky that Oyo State has been very supportive with the farm, and we've tried to cooperate with Obasanjo Farms as well as other stakeholders. So hopefully sometime in the near future, we'll be able to look at dairy input from the cows in the farm. We have milk collection facilities as well, so we're not depending just on our farm. But when the day arrives when we can use the milk in our production, we will still have to spend a lot of money adapting our factory to be able to use raw milk, because it's a different process from using the powdered milk which we have been used to using. We said at the last AGM the difficulties we had with importation of milk powder, compounded by the restrictions that central bank put on us. That has also exacerbated some of the problems because it made our inputs more expensive. We had to buy from some of our competitors. We were compelled to do so by central bank. But thankfully, that is behind us now. So going into the future, it looks as if at least we will be able to be competitive in importing the inputs we need for production, that is especially the milk powder. The right of return of products. When you're in the industry dealing with food, there are quite strict rules as to the quality of the products you supply. And that right of return is probably a very good thing. We need to monitor it, as you said, to ensure that we're not, the people who are selling our products don't try and play fast and loose with us. But the truth is, it's in their interest, just as it is in our interest, to ensure that our customers have confidence in the product, and that confidence that if there is any problem with the product, the company is prepared and ready to stand behind the quality of the products it delivers. As far as, I just wanted to also make a point, you pointed out about staff loans, which is a good thing. But I would actually like on this occasion to commend the staff of Fan Milk. They have been exceptionally loyal and hardworking, and we continue to enjoy their support, which means that they're happy with the progress of the company and are working hard to be a part of that progress. So we look after our staff, and our staff are looking after your company. I think I've covered your questions. I hope I've answered them sufficiently well. But I'd like Mr. Kaide Adebiyi to maybe say a word or two, and maybe even Mr. Mao, if they've noted things that I maybe haven't alluded to. Kaide.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and the shareholders. Rightly said by Mr. Chairman, last year was a very tough year for the environment, and we all know the issues we have from importation, inflation, change of denomination, etc. And just to explain to you the shape of our business, our outdoor business that's on the road, it's more than 60% of our business. And what that means is that when there is no coin, no money in the circulation, it was practically very difficult for our salespeople to operate. Nobody have notes to give them. Even in the midst of all those challenges, they were able to focus on the other side, which is the indoor part of the business, to accelerate that business, to make sure that overall as a business we're able to maintain our revenue. But one of the good things we've done, having a better understanding and continuous improvement, if you look at it from the space of operating profit, for example, you see that in 2022, our operating profit was 412 million, operating profit with a revenue of 30.8. In last year, you can see some of the outcome of the operating profit where we delivered about 1.7 billion as operating profit. That shows that in terms of the way of doing business, with practically the same revenue, we're putting more money at the operational level. And like Mr. Sherman said, the big challenge we have is coming from also what Chief Mazi said around the financial costs and everything. And the Sherman has also explained around what the parent company are doing to ensure that the support to keep us be in the business. And if you know what's happening in the environment, a lot of companies are leaving Nigeria, and the parent company and you still believe, and we're actually investing more in Nigeria. That's my contribution, and we can assure you, based on what we're seeing year on year, that we're actually on the right trajectory. I will keep focus on ensuring we reach more consumers, and we're reaching more consumers now. And I'm sure by the time we're giving you a report of 2024, you will see the kind of how we're going to more hands and how we're playing on some of these headwinds to make sure we give more value to your business. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Adebi. I think it deserves a round of applause because he's the one sitting in the hot seat on your behalf. Mr. Maro, do you have? Yes.
Thank you so much, Mazi. And I think we really, for me, as a finance person, I really appreciate your feedback on the finance activity or the finance cost activity. Like you said, truly, going through the commercial bank, taking overdraft is on the high side, the rate is on the high side. And as a business too, you know, it's a bit difficult to quickly close some of the facility if you don't have, it's not good to be a short-term plan. What we have now is a long-term plan where we look at taking a government intervention facility which comes at a very lower rate. Now, this will help us to be able to manage the excessive rate we are getting from the commercial bank. And we're already we are making significant progress on that. Like MD said, in 2024, you will see a significant improvement in terms of the facility. We're also looking at we talk about our parent company, and Chairman also record the same thing. They have a strong belief in the business, and they are ready to support. And we should be able to get a good rate with them. But the only thing is we need to be sure that, yes, we'll get at a good, maybe with other terms in terms of FX facility and impact of it. But in totality or in summary, the plan is we are looking at how to reduce the financial cost. We're talking to other banks too, even the commercial banks, to make sure that, yes, we've got a favorable rate because of the relationship we've built over the years with them. But I can assure you, when we come back here next year, you will see a significant improvement in the numbers. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Amaro. I don't believe that Mr. Mazi is the only one with questions, so I'd like to ask if there any other person would like to ask a question. Yes, please, at the back. Could you just give us your name when you ask your question? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. My name is Engineer B.A. Orefua. I think Chief Mazi has already said everything you need to discuss here already, according to the annual report. But what I just want to get clarification is the borrowing. Borrowing is so high. So I want just to get clarification on that. The trade and other receivable is high, it's on the high side. Then the losses. So that's just what I just want to clarify.
Thank you very much. I'll hand you back to the CEO.
Thank you very much. Our borrowing actually is coming from two directions. Why it's high? If you remember last year, January, the exchange rate was at about 600, 700. And that was the exchange rate. And by December, the exchange rate was about between 1,200 and 1,500. So what that means is, because remember we also have foreign investors, what that means is that if somebody has given you $1,000 and loan in January, by the time you get to December, you have to multiply it by 1,000, about 500, as against almost double or more than double, without doing anything, the same amount of money, but because of the impact of the exchange rate. So that's the big factor for us last year. If today the exchange rate should come down to 600 or 700, the reverse will be the case. So not because we are deliberately going to borrow more, but the impact of the FX, that was, and yes, the finance director also explained some of the things we are trying this year to ensure that we minimize that impact, either by using BOI and some other means to ensure we minimize that. Because we're also very conscious that once we reduce that, the operating profit you are seeing will start really showing and can actually lead to other narrative, which will be what you'll be interested in. Thank you.
Does that answer your question? Thank you very much. Any other questions before we move on? Name, please, and for your question.
My name is Eleyele Ibadan.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, sir. Please, sir. Page 10. No, page 33. The distribution of the expenses. 33.
Yes, please go on. I'm looking at the
distribution of the expenses and the administrative of the expenses. So I want to know about how they do the distribution of the expenses.
Okay, Mr. Mao, would you please take that?
Thank you so much, Mrs. Iyabo. If you look at the movement or the growth in the cost when you compare to 2022, around 11%, is about 11%. And as we all know, last year, inflation in Nigeria is over 30%, which really shows that if all things being equal, because most of these costs is what we call fixed costs, because it's a constant cost that happens, but which inflation will impact significantly. Now, what it means is that this cost is supposed to have been increased by around 30%. But what the business has done, or the management has done, or the workforce has really put together, is to ensure that, yes, we look for how to mitigate this 33% inflation, which we are able to reduce from 33 to 11%. We are unable to fully offset everything, because if we really need to offset everything, that means we need to lay off some people, we need to do a lot of things, which will not be what the business stands for. And I'm sure you, all the shareholders here too, will not be here when we start talking about we've laid off so number of people to manage the inflation. But we've looked at it organically and see what we can do, how can we optimize our operation, how can we reduce costs in-house, and which we've already done. And for me, I think what we've done, it's not on the high side. We're able to partly mitigate the inflation down to 11%. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. I hope that helps answer your question. Thank you very much. There have been no further questions. We'll move on with the other items on the agenda. Thank you very much, shareholders. The next item on the agenda is to elect or re-elect directors. You would have seen from the report of directors that Mr. Oyo Ibadan resigned as director of the company with effect from 31st of December 2023. Consequently, Mr. Eleyele Ibadan was appointed as a director of the company. Mr. Eleyele Ibadan was a former managing director of Milk Plc. He then Danone moved him to Algeria, where he was CEO, and then to South Africa. And with the reorganization in Danone, it brought him back to be a regional director, and consequently replaced Oyo Ibadan as director of FanMilk. I hereby move that Mr. Eleyele Ibadan be and is hereby elected a director of the company. Would someone like to stand up and second the motion? Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman. I do, Mr. Chairman. Banji Ulibus.
Thank you very much. Mr. Banji Ulibus, thank you very much. Is there any question before the motion is put to the meeting? No questions? I now put the motion to the meeting. I hereby direct that the votes be taken forthwith by the use of the voting device given to you on arrival. Our independent auditor will act as a scrutineer. I would like to ask the registrar to conduct the voting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Electronic voting devices have been issued to shareholders eligible to vote. Each device has been activated and is ready for use. A resolution will be announced, and voting for the resolution will commence after the announcement. On the voting card, 1 represents yes, 2 represents no, and 3 represents abstain. Press 1 for yes, press 2 for no, press 3 for abstain. Voting for a resolution commences and ends in 30 seconds. Voting results will be displayed immediately each voting session ends. Results will be displayed in shareholding percentage and unit holding. Electronic voting devices make voting convenient, fast, and secure. Thank you for participating in this important decision-making process. The resolution is up, and the timer starts now. Please vote. Press 1 for yes, 2 for no, and 3 to abstain. The resolution is up. Please vote. 1 for yes, 2 for no, and 3 to abstain. Voting has ended, and we have 100% in favor of the resolution, which translates to 1,155,679,000 units of shareholdings. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, based on the results as verified by the independent auditor, I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. You know, we started using this electronic voting many years ago, and the first couple of occasions it was a bit difficult, but it's working so well now that we're thinking of recommending it to INEC for future elections. Maybe we'll use it in Ondo or Edo or something. So you would also have seen from the report in front of you, the report of the directors, that 2 directors You all two directors are due for re-election in line with Section 273 of the Company and Allied Matters Act 2020 and Article 97 of the Articles of Association. They are myself, Mr. Olayinka Akikwe, and Dr. Babatunde Ajibade SAN, who is online with us virtually. As this item concerns me, it's my pleasure to call on the Managing Director, Mr. Kayode Adebiyi, to chair this part of the proceedings. So I hereby hand over the chairmanship of this meeting to him for that purpose.
Thank you. Thank you very much, shareholders. The first director seeking re-election is Mr. Olayinka Akikwe. I hereby move that Mr. Olayinka Akikwe be and he is hereby re-elected a director of the company. Will someone please rise and second this motion?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And second the motion, Igbasami Bukola is my name.
Thank you very much, Madam. Is there any question before the motion is put to the meeting? I now put the motion to the meeting. I hereby direct that the votes be taken forthwith by the use of the voting device given to you on arrival. I call on the registrar to conduct the voting.
The resolution is on display and the timer is up. Please vote. 1 for yes, kindly press 2 for no, and 3 to abstain. 1 for yes, 2 for no, and 3 to abstain. The timer is counting down. Please vote. 1 for yes, 2 for no, and 3 to abstain. Voting has ended, and we have 100% in favor, which translates to 30,000 units of shareholdings. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Chief, ladies and gentlemen, based on the results as verified by the independent auditor, I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. I will now hand over to Mr. Chairman to continue the proceedings. Or should I continue? Thank you.
I would have been very happy for him to continue, but distinguished shareholders, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for the confidence you have in my continued ability to represent you on the board of the company. And I look forward to continuing to deliver the same efforts in the year to come. Thank you very much. We do, however, also have another election, and that is for the second director seeking re-election, Dr. Babatunde Ajibade, SAN, with whom you're very familiar. I would like to move that Dr. Babatunde Ajibade be and is hereby re-elected as a director of the company. I would like someone to second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Orefua Temitope. I second the motion.
Thank you very much. Is there any question before the motion is put to the meeting? There being no further questions, I now put the motion to the meeting. I hereby direct that the votes be taken forthwith by the use of the voting device given to you on arrival. The dependent auditor will act once again as a scrutineer. I now invite the registrar to conduct the voting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The resolution is on display, and the timer is up. Please press 1 for yes, 2 for no, and 3 to abstain. The timer is counting down. 1 for yes, 2 for no, and 3 to abstain. The timer is counting down. 1 for yes, 2 for no, and 3 to abstain. Voting has ended. And we have 100% in favor of this resolution, which translates to 29,000 units of shareholdings. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Registrar. Ladies and gentlemen, based on the results as verified by the independent auditor, I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. And I would like to add, because we didn't have any way of ensuring that Dr. Ajibade could respond to his re-election, that he had told me that if he is re-elected, he would be happy to continue, and is thanking you also for the confidence reposed in him. The next item on the agenda is to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the independent auditor. Section 408, subsection 1B of CAMA requires that the remuneration be fixed by the company in general meeting or in such a manner as the company in general meeting may determine. I accordingly hereby move that the directors be and they are hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of the independent auditor for the year ended 31st of December 2023. Will someone please rise and second the motion? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On the motion, I raise name. I rise to second the motion, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ariel. Any questions before the motion is put to the meeting? There being none, I now put the motion to the meeting. I hereby direct that the votes be taken forthwith by the use of the voting device given to you. I now invite the registrar once again to conduct the voting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The resolution is on display. And the timer has started. Please vote. Press 1 for yes, press 2 for no, and press 3 to abstain. The timer is counting down. 1 for yes, 2 for no, and 3 to abstain. Press 1 for yes, 2 for no, and 3 to abstain. Voting has ended, and we have 100% in favor of the resolution, which translates to 1,155,681,000 units of shareholdings. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Registrar. Ladies and gentlemen, based on the results presented by the Registrar, I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. The next item on the agenda is to disclose the remuneration of the managers of the company. In accordance with sections 238 and 257 of CAMA 2020, the compensation of the manager of the company is expected to be disclosed to members at the annual general meeting. The remuneration of the manager of the company is as disclosed in the 2023 annual report, and it's contained in on page 88, note 25, item B. Thank you. In accordance with section 404, subsection 3 of CAMA, members of the audit committee are subject to election annually. Section 404, subsection 6 requires that they be formally nominated. Accordingly, 3 valid nominations have been received from shareholders and the members to represent them in the audit committee. The nominations are Chief Adekunle Adesoya, nominated by Oyedele Abdulaziz Ademola Taiwo. Thank you. Mr. Peter Iyanuku, nominated by Olafowatemi Tokwe, and Alhaji Mustafa Jinodu, nominated by Mr. Peter Iyanuku. For the avoidance of doubt, since we have the exact number of nominated shareholders, there will be no need to have a formal vote. It's my pleasure to also inform you that the Board of Directors has nominated the two directors to represent the board in the audit committee of the company. Dr. Babatunde Ajibade SAN, having been reappointed as a director, will continue to represent the board on the audit committee, and Mr. Hervé Barrère, who has also just been appointed to the board of the company. Following those from the nominations, I'd like to put a motion proper to the meeting. I hereby move that the following shareholders' representatives, Chief Abikunle Adesanya, Mr. Peter Iyanuku, Alhaji Mustafa Jinodu, as well as the following directors, representatives Dr. Babatunde Ajibade SAN and Mr. Hervé Barrère, be and they are hereby nominated as members of the audit committee. Will someone please rise and second the motion?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I second the motion. Basani is my name.
Thank you very much.
Basani Bukola.
Thank you, Bukola. Yeah. I now put the motion to the meeting and direct that the votes be taken first by the use of the voting device given to you on arrival. I invite the registrars to conduct the voting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Please do.
What are we voting for now?
Well,
it's unopposed now.
Well, it's unopposed. So and I said that the voting, but I think the company secretary, the motion. We still have to put the motion to the meeting. So formally, yes, yeah.
Use our device anyway.
Well, it looks as if the result will be 100% anyway. Now that Noasi has spoken. Thank you very much. I'd like to congratulate Chief Abikunle Adesanya, Mr. Peter Iyanuku, and Mr. Ajinodu. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is to fix the remuneration of the directors. In accordance with Article 84 of the Articles of Association of the company, I hereby move that the remuneration of the directors in respect of the year ended 31st of December 2023 shall remain as is with no increase. No increase. Will someone please rise and second the motion? Mazi.
I think the step you have taken is good. No increase. So, we agree. We agree. I hereby support that motion.
Thank you very much, Mazi. I think it's entirely proper that if we are unable to reward the shareholders with a dividend because we are not making the sort of profits that would allow us to do so, that the directors also should not increase the directors' fees, no matter the circumstances within the country. I still have to put the motion to the meeting. Will someone please rise and second Mazi's motion, please? Oh, Mazi has done that. Yeah. So can we take the vote?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The resolution is on display and timer has started. Please vote. Press 1 for yes, 2 for no, and 3 to abstain. The timer is counting down. Please vote. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Press 3 to abstain. 1 for yes, 2 for no, and 3 to abstain. Voting has ended, and we have 100% in favor of the resolution, which translates to 1,155,682,000 units of shareholdings. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Registrar. I have to believe that the machine is working, but at least someone should have voted no to... Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, based on the results as verified by the independent auditor, I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Thank you for doing so. The next item on the agenda is to consider and if thought fit pass the following resolution as an ordinary resolution of the company. That a general mandate be and is hereby given authorizing the company through the directors to enter into recurrent transactions with related parties or companies until reviewed by the company at an annual general meeting. I hereby move that the general mandate be and is hereby given authorizing the company through the directors to enter into recurrent transactions with related parties or companies until reviewed by the company at an annual general meeting. Would someone like to rise and second the motion?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, my name is Engineer B.A. Orefua. I so second.
Thank you, Mr. Orefua. Is there any question before I put the motion to the meeting? I now put the motion to the meeting. I hereby direct that the votes be taken forthwith at the use of the voting device given to you. The independent auditor once again will act as a scrutineer. Registrar, can you please conduct?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The resolution is on display, and the timer has started. Please vote. Press 1 for yes, press 2 for no, press 3 to abstain. The timer is counting down. 1 for yes, 2 for no, press 3 to abstain. Press 1 for yes, 2 for no, and 3 to abstain. Voting has ended, and we have 100% in favor of the resolution, which translates to 1,155,681,000 units of shareholdings. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Registrar. Ladies and gentlemen, based on the results as verified by the independent auditor, that the motion has been duly carried. The next item on the agenda is to authorize the directors and management of the company to appoint such professional parties and advisors and to form all such other acts and do all such other things as may be necessary for or incidental to effecting the above resolutions, including, without limitation, complying with the directives of any regulatory authority. I hereby move that the director and management of the company to appoint such professional parties and advisors and perform all such other acts and do all such other things as may be necessary for or incidental to effecting the above resolutions, including, without limitation, complying with the directives of any regulatory authority. Would someone please rise and second the motion? Thank you, sir.
I second Eleyele Ibadan.
Thank you, Mr. Manji. Is there any question before I put the motion to the meeting? I now put the motion to the meeting. I hereby direct that the votes be taken forthwith by the use of the voting device given to you. The independent auditor will act as the scrutineer. Registrar, can you please conduct the voting?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The resolution is on display. Timer is counting down. Please vote. Press 1 for yes, press 2 for no, press 3 to abstain. The timer is counting down. Please press 1 for yes, press 2 for no, and press 3 to abstain. Voting has ended, and we have 100% in favor of the resolution, which translates to 155,683,000 units of the shareholdings. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Registrar. Thank you for conducting all the voting for this meeting. I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, based on the results as verified by our independent auditor, I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Distinguished fellow shareholders, ladies and gentlemen, we have now dealt with all the formal business. I would like to thank you on behalf of the board for your continued interest in the company's affairs. I'd like to thank those who are also joining this meeting on a virtual basis and would like to declare the meeting closed. We will rise for the national anthem, and the only other note I will ask is that unfortunately I will not be able to stay and meet and as we normally do and chat with the shareholders, as I have a personal bereavement which I must attend to. So I regret that even though we meet only once a year, that I'm going to be unable to do so this year, and I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. Thank you. National anthem, please. Regardless of what might occur in the next few days, may God protect you and your family. There is lunch.